Hello, hello. Somebody forgot to put up his light. Greetings, my friends. It is I, Tom, and I'm here for another episode of Guide the Path with myself. And today I am on my own, and I gonna ramble happily on, but I am sure you will support me throughout our session today. Um, yeah, I hope everybody's doing fine. Uh, Quick reminder who I am. I'm Tom. I write games for Onyx Path and I write community content on my own. And I run a ton of games uh, as a professional GM. Currently, I'm running Die and Changing the Lost. And I'm here to, basically talk with you about how to run games. And since I am over here at Onyx Path, I'm going to talk mostly about the games Onyx Path produces, but I'm sure I will mention a few along the way. Um, there are a few tiny news for everyone. So, for example, the Infernals crowdfunder over at BackerKit goes strongly and has an amazing total of more than 600% of what they wanted in the beginning. So that's awesome. And there are 14 days left. It's basically the slowest point during the life cycle of this campaign. So uh, it's amazing how well it is being received. And then we had a new release yesterday, and that was the Dragon Tasty Bit compilation. So all tasty bits that have been released for Cyan Dragon are compiled in one big document. And I really enjoy these compilations because I have fewer PDFs um, sticking or crowding my folders. So this is something very handy to have. Yeah. Um, okay. What else is there to say? Um, I'm also a moderator over at Illusion HorrorCon, and we have a ton of games, around about 70, including a few workshops. Um, Everybody is set, I think, at this point, but to my experience, there are always people um, who can't make it to a session at the day the session is happening. And so um, if you are interested on picking up an impromptu game during the weekend, have a look at our Discord server, the Illusion and HorrorCon, and uh, have a great time playing. If you don't manage to get into a game, I'm streaming games. One of them on Sunday is Curseborne, and I'll add more to my personal setting of Miston City, and I gonna I gonna use one of the antagonists from the Tasty Bits, and I gonna tweak them a little bit to fit our characters, and put one of them in a very very hard spot. Also, we made the amazing decision that we want to have a Venator on our crew. So we have a Venator, a sorcerer, and a dead. And they are on a path to fun, I think. Probably not. It's gonna be horrible. Yeah. And this is probably the part that I personally enjoy the most. Um, about these conventions, it's the panels where a bunch of knowledgeable people come together and nerd out about topics. And I think we have about 10 panels across the entire event. And not only do they have amazing topics, but also, um, hello, Illusion Horror Con. Um, doop, 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 doop. Not only are there amazing topics, but we also have amazing guests. And there are quite a few from the Onyx Path team, like Matthew Dawkins and Danielle Luzon, and somebody kidnapped Fern and Steph, who also worked on Monster Hearts, and dragged them into the panels. And we also have the amazing Sean Creef, who, if I am not entirely mistaken, worked on Curseborne too. And I had the pleasure to work with him on a Trinity supplement. Yeah, this is really good and fun stuff. And I I am very eager to watch them. Um, uh, had plenty of fun during the last panels in the last years, and this time I have to step a little bit back because I have a lot going on and just gonna run two amazing games. Okay, the chat is filling up a little bit. Hi, Illusion Horror Con. Hi, Andrew the Rambling Gamer. Awesome to have you both here. Um, yeah, and I'm just gonna look if there are any responses, and if not, I'm just gonna ramble on and talk about the amazing stuff that I love, and this is usually games. Um, last last session we had a guest, David, very good friend of mine and co-writer on many of our personal projects. And the week before, we designed basically a 3-step adventure. And yesterday or today, I read a question in the Curseborne Discord thread on how to utilize threats and evidence in an investigative or investigatory adventure. And I decided I gonna design an investigative adventure, preferably with your support, with your ideas too. So don't hesitate to chime in during the conversation and share your ideas, and we're gonna make something cool out of them. I just gonna talk on unless I hear anything from you and get massively distracted. Um. Okay. Is there anything else I need to talk about before we can start? I don't think so. Okay. I probably once again need my paint. Whoop, 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 whoop. I'm gonna move this over here. I can't see my face anymore, but this is probably not bad. Okay. If we are looking at an investigatory adventure in a Storypath Ultra game, we are looking at two core rules of features. One of them is the leads, and the other one is evidence. This is basic stuff. You're probably already familiar with it, but it never hurts to really recap the basics. Okay, and these things are important and will give our story some structure. Um, a lead is basically the information that you need to solve the case, solve the mystery. So, leads are information crucial crucial this doesn't look right. I am not a native speaker, and I make a lot of typos. Um, information crucial to solving the problem, whatever our problem is, and our evidence is information giving flavor and explaining the story. So basically, what you can do is go through an investigation and use only the leads, and you will end up at the end. In the case of a murder, you will find the culprit. This is all that you get. What you're missing is the hows, probably, and the whys, and the reasons and motivations, and a lot of the story. And this is what's hidden in the evidence. One other user on Discord said, leads will lead you to the culprit, and evidence will make the court case stick. And I think this is also a very good way to explain this. So, if the information that is crucial to solving the problem is the lead, you need leads in every scene, because they will direct your players to the next plot point, to the next event. And so it makes a lot of sense to have leads and give them for free, because it's very frustrating to be stuck in an investigation and don't know where to go next and where to find out more. It's frustrating. Your players won't know what to do, where to go. So hiding leads behind a dice roll is only recommendable if you're sure that they will succeed at the dice roll. And it's only a question of how expensive it will be to obtain the information, aka which complications to add to the dice roll. And it can't be about succeeding and then, or it can't be about failing and then you don't have a lead and the characters are stuck in a scene and they have to come up with an ingenious way on how to proceed. Okay, so we want to have several leads and we want them for free. Giveaway. I am sure there are people out there who are doing this differently. I'm just sharing my best practices on this. I think there's actually recommendations on how to do this with dice rolls in, for example, Curseborne. But I gonna stick to my guns and use what proved to be helpful. And evidence is something that you can use as a reward for your players, for creative thinking, for succeeding at dice rolls, for asking the right questions. So we don't give away evidence for free. We reward evidence for a ton of things. Interaction with the scenario and characters. So do dice rolls. Okay. I am a lazy story guide. As I was running my short campaign of origin stories, where I basically had a session 0 or a first session for each of the 5 templates, the dead, the hungry, the sorcerer, and so on. And I started my first session with about a page full of notes in prep, and I ended with a preparation of like 3 lines for my last session, because my enthusiasm to prepare declines over the course of a project. And at the same time, my self-esteem rises, and I know I got these things, and I just have to have the moving parts in my head and apply them to a situation. And I am very heavily leaning on an idea that I first encountered in a scenario collection for Numenera First Edition. It's in Weird Discoveries for Numenera. You can get like a free preview. It's a very good resource. And something they managed in their scenarios is condensing the information that is necessary to run in a very clever way. And since then, I've seen this recommended several times by other experienced horror and investigation GMs. The idea of the floating clue, or in this case, a floating lead. I think I talked about this 2 weeks ago too. You prepare a list of vital, necessary information, and then you insert this information in the scenes that your characters actually go to. For Black Sheep, I did this too. I had several scenes prepared, or at least sketched out in my head, on to which directions my players would take. And depending on where they went, I just inserted the key information they needed to proceed into the scene, because I knew they wouldn't go into any of the other scenes, and they still need the information. So I basically make a list of leads that I want to use. And if we are going with a lovely, lovely murder mystery, then we need a few important leads. Okay. If any of you have an idea of what crucial information our group of heroes needs, please write it into the chat. I'm happy to use your or to include your ideas too. So, I mean, this is not in the order that we are going to use them, but I think it's pretty important to know um, who did it, who did the murder, where is the murderer. Um, I think this is already enough to catch the murderer. Um, okay. It would be a very bad investigation if the first question that was answered is who is the murderer. Um, this is a very great idea, chat. I assume it's Ryan hiding behind the illusion horror tag right now. So where is the murder weapon? We're gonna assume there is one, and ideally it's something special and interesting. Um, where is the murder weapon? Where's the murder weapon? Okay. Mm. Doop de doop de doop de doop de doop de doop. Ideally, or maybe we have who is a witness. Um, I think I'm slowly already connecting the dots here. Where did the murderer and victim meet? Yeah, this is a great idea to add some complexity if you're running this either with a very quick group. My games tend to include a lot of character play, and then we run out of time to do plot things. But if you have a quick group, it is a great idea to, for example, hide a witness. And then you can have the group search for a witness. Okay, where did the murderer and the victim meet? Who is a witness? Where is the murder weapon? And who did the murder? These are already 5 leads that we have. And if I think about my pacing and my pacing of adventures, this is already plenty. And my group will have a lot of things to do. Remember last time, or the 2 weeks ago, we created like lists of things that different kind of characters can do, and all of and answers to all of these questions can be achieved by different means. Where did the murderer and the victim meet? You can have, for example, if you're investigating the home of the victim or the crime scene, you can find the victim's phone or a laptop or any other communication device. And a character could, for example, hack these devices or get legal access to them and find out where the victim has been before they were murdered. This is how you can acquire this lead. You can also acquire this lead by asking their best friends, for example, or this would be a social role, or by going through their stuff and find the famous box of matches. Yeah, there are plenty of ways of how to get these leads. And you just prepare this list and make sure that within each scene you enter, you drop one of them and give it away for free to your group. So they will always have something to continue your story with. Because you're, of course, not just giving them the question, where did the murderer and the victim meet? No, you're giving them the answer. Um, and maybe this was the first thing that comes to my mind is a washing saloon. Maybe the chat has a few other ideas of where they could have met. Which is not a nightclub and not a washing saloon. Um, what would be great? Mm, the next thing that comes to my mind is a hardware store. I'll give chat a second to maybe think about what there also could be. Um, doop, 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 doop. I think I like something else. Let's go with an auction. A rare wine auction. And so our characters now would know where to go next, the place where the auction was held. And we answer all these leads up in front, and then we can just drip them in there. And this is also the answer to one of the most terrible tricks in the book. I hope nobody of our developers is hearing this. I am not a fan of the additional lead trick. Because if you aren't prepared for them, it's a interesting question when you're, or a difficult task if your players roll well enough on an investigative action and they buy the additional lead trick, and you now have to give them another lead, and they are going faster than you anticipated through what you have prepared. Preparing this list of leads helps you a lot with giving them the next one without stressing that they would acquire this information in another scene, because these leads aren't tied to a scene anymore. You can just whoop, throw them in there. You also have less of a problem if you're not running, like if you don't imagine the story as a linear one in your head. Sometimes we have a certain order of scenes that we want to go, want our players to go through. And if you spread leads of the same information level in different scenes, then this is also fine. But having this list helps you in a lot of situations where you build up leads one after another, like we did basically. Okay. And where did the murderer and the victim meet? This is the rare wine auction. Oh, Cryptic Psych is back. Yeah, this is a very, very good, very, very good hint. If the players are pushing for leads, they might get to the finish line sooner, but they might not know why any of that happened. Yes, this is when um, the players underestimate the value of evidence, or maybe the story guide misunderstood what evidence and leads are. And yeah, I mean, in some cases, it's it seems vital to forego understanding what's going on if you, on the other hand, uh, get to the end quickly because they got somebody you care about and you want to get them out of there no matter what. Then I can totally see why just following through with leads is absolutely understandable. Um, Sidetrack, brain, come back. Um, doop de 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 doop. Going quick leads. Uh, I wanted to add something about this, but it's no gone. It's will probably gonna return. Um, doop de doop. Okay, I wanted to add a little bit more meat to our story. So what maybe we should add this kind of vital information. We have a murder mystery, and maybe we should answer the question who's the dead person. This would also be a great lead, finding the answer to the question who actually is the victim. Um, Who got murdered, friends? Who got murdered? Um, it was a local pharmacist. They got horribly, horribly murdered. Okay. Okay. Um, okay. Of course, I'm gonna take the response from chat. The captain of the Covent basketball team. Uh, Covent basketball team captain got murdered. Oh no. Okay. Okay, okay, okay. Um Convent, not Covent, whatever Covent would be. Um um okay. Doop, 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 doop. Okay. And we know that said captain met the murderer at the rare wine auction. Um, there was an important witness to the situation who can lead us to important information that will help with identifying um, No, actually, maybe we found just the convent basketball team, but we don't know where they've been murdered. So, who is the witness answering that question will help us finding the actual crime scene. Who is who is a witness? Um, we're gonna take an interesting witness. Um, and we're gonna make it somebody unreliable. Um, somebody who was involved in a car accident. Um, a car accident survivor. Probably they've witnessed the deed and were so distracted that they had a car accident. And yeah, if we have like mind reading powers or stuff like this, our witness could be uncommunicative, and we can use some spells to get in contact with them. This would be a great opportunity for role playing and for the use of magic. And then this leads us to the next lead, which we can just um, add in here. Whoop de doop de doop de doop. We're gonna move this down. I'm such a tech savvy person. This is incredible. Look at this production value. Where is the crime scene? Sneen. Okay. Um, does Chad have an idea for an awesome crime scene? Where got our convent basketball team captain got killed? Mm, I listened to a lot of tennis in the last few weeks. The fiction podcast tennis. It's awesome, um, and I highly recommend listening it. There's a lot savageable stuff for Curseborne in there, and a lot of the very bad things happen in the woods. Um, and I think we can combine this with the back rooms of the auction house. Um, maybe there's a strange situation going on, and the back rooms of the auction house are also or are slowly turning into a greenhouse. So um, back rooms of the auction house. Turning into a greenhouse. Okay. The thing is, this allows us to have large glass windows through which our witness could have seen the scene. This is very helpful to continue the idea with the car accident. And yeah, we know where it happened. Now we want to know uh, who was our murderer, and of course, uh, finding the weapon will help. I think I need to. No! No, no, no. Tom messed up. The back rooms of the auction house, which are turning into a greenhouse. Okay. This gets even better and better. I should copy paste this. First, move the other thing down. Competence. This is sheer technical genius. Technology for the win. It's definitely not because the user is like um a part of the problem. It's just the tech that's ruining everything. It's not the user at all. Glad we could clarify this. Okay. Now we need the place of the murder weapon. And we won't forget that we have a team of supernatural creatures with access to magic. And we can make this a little bit harder for them, or at least interesting story wise. We are giving away these leads for free, don't forget this. We want our players to have this information. There we go. Where is the murder weapon? I mean, it must be one of the items that were to be auctioned, right? This would allow us to have them missing from a list, and then we can. This is good. Okay. What aside of rare wines is this auction house auctioneering on the regular? It's probably not a stamp collection. Unless it is a magical weaponized stamp collection. is this too outlandish, or do we take a stamp collection as a murder weapon? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, of course it's communion wine. You're absolutely right. A bottle of communion. Why isn't it working? It can't be me. Can't be me. It can't be my problem. Bottle. Hey. Because I'm in the wrong mode. Of course I am. Yep. Give me. Today, fighting paint with Tom. A bottle of communion wine. Paint 3D. Yes. Oh God. A bottle of communion wine blessed from Pope Johannes. I don't know of which number. I was thinking about the one before, like the last one from Poland. Johannes the something something. Um, a bottle of communion from Pope blessed by, not from. Oh no, from Pope Johannes John Paul. This might be correct. Yeah. Um, we don't shorten the names to John. We are going with Johannes. But Johannes Paul is correct. Yes. Uh, probably. Let's just assume it's the second. Sounds about right. From Pope Johannes Paul II. Personal. No. Um, uh, yeah, it's heritage, inheritance, heritage, probably. Um, okay. This is not ridiculous at all. Um, you know what? Let's just to not make anyone extremely offended. Whoops. Go with an yeah. Thank you for amazing Pope facts about John Paul the First. Yeah, I gonna go with a fictional John Paul, who also came from Poland, but is a totally different person, as you can see. The numbers are even in italics. Okay. Now need to steer any terrible things. Um, okay. Ideally, we already set up a murderer, but this is actually how I quite often uh, find out about who is the culprit in my stories. I, I start somewhere and then I work myself through like the important story beats, and then I discover the murderer or I come up with a stupid idea, and then I go back and put all the hints into into the story after I found out who the terrible person was. Um okay, who did the murder? Um who did the murder? I am probably in favor of the local pharmacist now. Uh, but let's put a little bit of Curseborne DNA into this, and it was the private basketball team. I mean, they are probably sponsored by this person. Um, I mean, I would have fun playing this scenario for an evening. Not gonna lie. I was actually thinking about a hide. Um, um, who did the murder? We found the bottle of. Oh, we actually never answered where the murder weapon was. We just said what the murder weapon was. So uh, the murder weapon is has vanished with a crate, with the entire crate of wine bottles from this batch, and they are now, of course, in the Heights local pharmacy, and the pharmacist is the captain of the rival basketball team. Okay. You know, this is so much more fun to actually talk with people about the stupid ideas instead of just rambling on your own. Um, the session 2 weeks ago was a little bit lonely, to be honest. Um, Last week, basically nobody tuned in. I assume because of Thanksgiving, but at least I had somebody who joined me, and we rambled on. I think there were some great ideas in our ramblings. Okay, who whoop de doop de doop. I need to sort out stuff. Okay, a bottle of communion wine from the Bavarian heritage. Um, it's with all the other bottles in the local pharmacy. Okay. Looks great. Uh, Technology. Okay. Who did the murder? Um, of course, it was the pharmacist. Um, the local Hyde pharmacist who also runs the rival basketball team. It's getting very, very crowded over here. How many leads do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Where is the murderer? In the secret. In the secret. And now the entire chat sings as one choir, laboratory. But that's wrong. It's in the secret training gym. Um, yeah, this is absolutely what's going on. But this is not a lead. This is evidence. Um, you're absolutely right. This is the motivation. Um, it's getting so crowded in this very sophisticated paint thing. Um, okay. Uh, let's go. Let's go over here. Let's go over here. Motivation is wanted the wine um to boost potion. And let's tie this all together. Um, Doop de 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 doop. Um, second piece of evidence is um, Hyde tested his potions on his team, and Captain learned about that. Yeah. Which he was going to use to spike his team's halftime juice, and they could. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, yeah. It's not finished yet. This has to be developed over the course of course, the basketball championship that definitely um, is going to involve a team of our crew itself. You know, you can't have like this alcohol and sports driven investigation without the party playing at least one match of um, Hyde potion powered basketball. It might be even the finale as they finally um, face the Hyde captain pharmacist. And I think we might actually change the "Where's the Murderer" from the secret training gym to to the stadium, um, the sports place, um, and then they have throwdown and the 3-pointer to break the curse. I love it. Okay, so I've been already talking for about an hour and should have maybe sipped a water or two. Um, and it really feels like there is a lot of flavor to be added to our meat and potatoes, which is the lead. The fun things like why the captain was murdered, what are the larger intentions of the hired pharmacist. All of this is not known to anyone who just follows the lead. Um, it's this is all the fun things, they are in the evidence, and I think uh, this is something that deserves a session of its own. Whilst I'm waiting for my next guest to get ready, or if she is ready next week, I might just do the first session with her, because um, I want to bring a friend to the show who knows a lot about group dynamics and how to actually run or lead a group of people. We had a workshop over at the Illusion HorrorCon, which we called Roll for Leadership. And this is about, yeah, basically the social aspects of running a game and running a group of people. Um, and there is a lot to talk about, also about mental well being as a story guide and stuff like this. And I'm very hyped to get into these topics. But this this communion wine and Hyde potion fueled adventure is very likely to come back. Um, and we can add something to it, and then I don't know. Um, Maybe at some point we put it out on as free on the whatever the community content program will be called. Uh, um, for Curseborne, brain work, because I think this would be this would be a fun one shot. Also, no problems. We don't have like attendance sheets or something like this, and in case you are worried about my beverage, this is water. Um, and I would have loved to have some tea. Probably I'm gonna cook some tea or boil, whatever. Mm. Real soon. Yeah. Okay. As I said earlier, this was really fun. Um, this is gonna go to the VODs. Or stay on Twitch for the next 2-3 weeks, and then I'm gonna upload it on the Illusion Horror Con YouTube. And just a quick reminder at the end of today's session, first cryptic. Um, did you by any chance find the document or the released version of your community building system? I'm still very interested in looking at it. Um, and yeah, you're absolutely right. We need a good name for this Covenant team now. If by any chance anyone is interested in running with this idea, doing silly stuff with it, please go ahead. This is free for grabs. Don't make money off it, and then we are fine. Um, this does only make sense for today and tomorrow, but tomorrow Illusion HorrorCon starts. I, if I'm not entirely wrong, Matthew Dawkins will be on our keynote, as will be a bunch of amazing people. And we will have uh, long panels, 1 hour and I think 40 minutes. And one would think this is very long. Not if you want to talk there. I, I have notes prepared, or had notes prepared for the last few conventions, and I never got through all of them because there's so much of cool ideas in these panels, and you don't get to talk about all of them. So, yeah, I can highly recommend it. If you're not able to watch them live, they will all go up immediately on YouTube. I will also catch some of them later. I hope to be in chat for them, but I'll see what the tiny person allows me to do. Yeah, check out the Cyan Dragon Tasty Bit compilation and the Infernals Becca Kid thing, and a Curseborne or and Cult crossover. You will definitely get writers of both games. Not definitely, but very likely writers of both games on one panel. And you already have this mix with Matthew Dawkins. But yeah, we have Call of Cthulhu, I think community content writers or scenario writers. We have almost the entire Helmgas team for Cult. And we have several people from Onyx Path. I'm not sure if we have Free League people, but we have some indie developers who are doing their own stuff. It's really good, and I I think David was aiming to run the same scenario in Kult and Vassen. So maybe maybe we're gonna do a cult and Curseborne. Stupid idea, which won't be official in any shape or form. Okay, this was enough rambling. Once again, thank you all for joining me. This was fun. I'm excited for next week, and yeah, I hope you're doing fine, and we'll see each other again. Goodbye. And this is the tricky part. If I have to do my own tech, I can't wave and wait for the stream to end. I actually have to click the button, and it's very awkward to be waving and click the button. So see you soon.